Good.
As far as the turnaround, I don't know if it's actually a turnaround, but what is it like to have that roster that you guys knew and have been talking about that was successful last year, kind of stand up and be those players and perform the way that you guys want?
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah, we're playing well, but it's not just about the guys who start. I feel like in the Dallas games, especially, the guys who've come on have made the difference, whether in the first or the last game. So I think it takes more than just the guys that start, and then obviously injuries, suspensions are part of the playoffs as well as the regular season. So I think to get through the next round, we'll need everybody. We'll need more than 11 guys, that's for sure.
Has it been a case of enjoying proving people wrong who might have doubted y'all in July or August?
Yeah, I mean, I always say we had a really good start and really good end, and that summer period kind of wasn't ideal, But if you start the way we started and you build kind of a gap, then you can afford. Although it wasn't in a plan, we didn't want to. But when you don't win for a longer period of games, you still stay on top, and that's what we managed to do. And then we picked it up right at the end before the playoffs, and yeah, I think that's crucial, to end the season well.
You have same 7 game winners. What's your favorite goal this year?
Um, I don't know. They're all good. I feel like every goal is nice, whether you tap it in from 1 yard away or you scored from 40 yards away. They all count the same, and yeah, I don't think I have my favorite yet.
Okay.
You
What
haven't,
about
you haven't played for a while.
Yeah, but neither had the LAFC. And if anything,
Yeah. I
they
mean, from a personal perspective,
yeah,
it's
it's
kind of good, it's kind of bad.
no, it's not ideal. I don't think. Especially in the playoffs, you kind of go off momentum and what we build towards the end of the season. And if you keep winning games, you kind of want to keep playing. You don't want to have a break. On the other side, it's the same for LAFC as for us. Actually, they had a longer break than us, so it'll be the same for both teams. But I don't think it's ideal. But then when you look at how many players are going on international duties from each team, I don't think it would be fair to play during the national team break as well. So it's a tough one.
Kind of a coach's question, but also a tactical question for you. Like, how much do you go back and scouting them? It's about how you guys play, but is it like the last time you played them, the last 3 games, or it's just you play all game?
I think it's more last few games that they played. I feel like they changed. Few starting players since we last played them. I think there's been changes. They added new players who became starters right away, and players that we probably haven't faced yet. So I think it's more about how they played their first series against Vancouver than when we played them, a month ago. So we've had enough time, as you said. There was a break. We've had enough time to watch film. So I feel like right now, it's about training hard and being fit for the game on Sunday, and then Sunday will be the game that decides. I don't think we need to watch any more film because, as I said, when those in those past 2 weeks that we've been off, we watched enough film of them, and we're prepared.
Is it look? Do they look a lot different too?
I wouldn't say a lot, but they do look different than I feel like when we face them. The new players bring something else. And they're dangerous, especially up top. They have talented players. They score a lot of goals. So that's definitely one of their strengths, But we're aware of the fact that we're at home, and we'll try and set the tempo and dictate the tempo of the game, through the 90+ minutes.
Is it? Oh, I was just gonna. With that, is there any kind of Leagues Cup feel in a sense because you guys also have a lot of changes to your lineup from the 2 times that you played them before and the big gap. So is it kind of like a new, facing a new team in a sense?
It's just gonna be a one-off game. It's not a series like the first round, so you don't really have time to make things right in case something goes wrong. It's just a one game now. It's the old playoffs format, and yeah, really you don't have much space to make mistakes or anything like that. So yeah, concentration will have to be on from the first minute. Because in games like these, I feel like one detail can decide who goes through. So we want to make sure that we're on the right side of that.
Vancouver was able to really put them in some issues building out of the back. How important is it going to be for you guys to pressure effectively in order to get a good result against LAFC?
Yeah, that'll be one part of the game. I think we did that well against Dallas, at least 2 out of 3 games. So it's something that we're good at and something that we want to do as well. But I also feel like when they get under pressure, they're not afraid to go long, and they have speed up top. So yeah, putting pressure on the ball will be important. But then being organized at the back and kind of predicting the long ball will be just as important. So yeah, Vancouver did have a little bit of success with that. But there's more plays, there's more ways that they can hurt you, LAFC, than just building out of the back.
One of those things that worked for LAFC was set pieces. They scored 3 of their first 4 goals in the first game. Out of that, how could you guys minimize mistakes and their effectiveness on set pieces?
Yeah, well, the best way is not to give up any. But that's going to happen. That's part of the game, and especially corner kicks. I feel like we've been good at it. Our big guys have been able to solve those balls in, and just being strong in there, just like the last few minutes against Dallas when they threw everybody forward, and we were always winning the first and the second balls. So that will be important, and yeah, just good clearances. If it can go out for a throw, and it's probably better than a corner. So those are the little details that can make a difference on Sunday.
And when you're paying the golden boot for the MLS and a guy as electric as Banga is, how do you minimize that? And how do you make sure that he doesn't change the game?
Yeah, well, we do it collectively. It's not just going to be on Alex to deal with him one-on-one. That's not always the case. We'll have to, the guys around have to help and push him out wide. Don't let him cut inside on his right. That's what he wants to do. That's how he scored, most of his goals. And he's a good player, but they have more good players, and we have good players too. So it's about those little details, and as much as we can help as a team. To defend those guys, especially up top, the better it will be for us.
You guys are about to face off against, one of the top attacking teams in the MLS, but you can also argue that you guys are the top defensive team in the MLS. Yep. What can you kind of say about that?
A good match, right? A kind of match as well. Yeah, we've been solid, clean sheets, not giving up many goals. That's really important, and I feel like that's important in playoffs, especially. If you don't give up goals in playoffs, it's easier to go through, But we're aware of the fact that they like attacking plays and they score a lot of goals. But as I said again, we're at home, We'll be the ones that play at home, and we'll have a lot of fans behind us that that will feed off, and that could be crucial, So yeah, I'm expecting a tough game.
When you talk about players needing everybody and the players that are not always the starters helping out, like who out here, lately has been really helping you out that might not get much attention. On the training field. Like,
who's that?
Who's been helping you? Mentioned.
As players? Yeah, I mean, the young guys have been great the whole year. They always put it in training. I feel like they're the ones that kind of raise the tempo and the energy levels in training, So definitely them. But it just goes, we've used, I feel like, a lot of players this year who have started the games, in 3 games, match weeks, everybody got a start. And I feel like that's important to have the whole group together, I don't feel like we won the Champions League last year with 11 guys. It wasn't just the starters, There were moments when people went out with injuries and someone else had to step in. Obe did in the final. And he did his job and he played part, and that's the reasons that we were successful. So if we're going to win something else this year, an MLS Cup, then we'll need everybody. And we don't know, you guys don't know, I don't know who might get called upon at what time in a game, but he could be the one that makes the difference.
How do you celebrate Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving, it's not really a Slovakian thing. Most of mine and my wife's family are back home. Not most, everybody. So it's just going to be us 4, and yeah, have some turkey. Not too much though.